What's up, fellas? It's your main man back on the scene with another video. I'm checking out Brother Phil, and he's speaking on the migrant crisis and the mayor of Chicago, who apparently does not want to end sanctuary status, even though the will of the people say so. But let's check this out.
Yeah, you got enough. Now, Brandon Johnson, he didn't stop there. Let's continue with what Brandon Johnson going to continue to go down, talking about blaming everything on the right wing and racism. Let's continue.
Mayor, do you think there's a disconnect between the Biden administration resuming deportations of Venezuelans after they recently cited the dangerous conditions in their home country as part of the reason for extending temporary work authorization?
Foreign policy has caused a tremendous amount of destabilization. And so the sanctions, of course, that are causing the turmoil is being brought to us by the right-wing extremists in this country.
I have to stop
Oh, Lord.
there. Now, he's right about sanctions. They do have sanctions on Venezuela. That's 100% true. Just like they have sanctions on Zimbabwe. So the reason why I like, for instance, you have a lot of people in Zimbabwe that go to South Africa is because it's a better economy and because of the sanctions. Sanctions are very crippling to an economy.
Yeah, that's why they have BRICS now. Countries are lining up to get from under the dollar because they weaponize the dollar. They punish countries. If they don't do what they want, then they punish them. Venezuela was one of the richest countries in the world, and they imposed sanctions on them to destroy them because they didn't like the leader of the country because he wasn't a puppet. And some say, allegedly, the United States poisoned him. No, I wouldn't put it past them because they have assassinated leaders in African countries and to install puppet regimes so they can get at resources at rock bottom prices. So this part here, this is true. It's not right wing because Biden himself, he didn't end that. He didn't get in office. All right, no more sanctions against Zimbabwe. No more sanctions against Cuba, Iran. That's bullshit. They're all down with the get down. This thing they don't want to teach you in school, but they destabilized Iran. They did that. The U.S. and Britain did that. Legend. Kuwait was taken from Iraq. Kuwait used to be part of Iraq. They do all kinds of stuff so that these super rich people can get richer and richer, keep all the money for themselves, creating all kinds of problems around the world. And now it's coming here. That's why you have the migrant crisis in Europe. A lot of Africans, they destabilize these countries. I have an idea for you guys. How about you stop fucking with them people? Let them live their lives, and they won't come here, and they won't go to Europe because they won't need to. Let's continue.
Economy makes life very, very hard. And the United States do this mess to try to punish other countries sometime forever, right? So he's right about that. But it's not the right wing because Biden is continuing the sanctions, sir. If that was the case, that means when Biden got in, all the sanctions would have been lifted. But Biden continues the sanctions on Zimbabwe and many other countries. So no, it's Democrats doing sanctions too.
The real disconnect is the fact that you have global population shifts that have been promulgated by the very failures of the Republican entities that want to score political points by attacking major cities where black and brown people live.
No one's attacking Democrat cities. Y'all said that y'all were sanctuary cities. So Governor Greg Abbott here in Texas said, well, since you're a sanctuary city and you want to welcome everybody, and our cities and border towns and our state have been taking migrants for decades, well, maybe it's your turn to start taking some of them, and now you're getting them, and now it's all of a sudden a right-wing problem. Okay.
That's the disconnect. The Republican Party can't even nominate their own leadership. Now, of course, I've said this multiple times. State, county, the federal.
That's not the top. I don't give a damn about the Republican who elect a leader. That has nothing to do with the topic at hand. He's not even answering the question. He's dancing around and throwing all kinds of stuff in there. And these people, instead of pumping his brakes, man, just answer the goddamn question.
Federal government has to lean in and do more. And let's be very clear about what's happening here. That you have the destabilization of countries across the globe, which, by the way, are individuals that identify as Afro-Venezuelan or Afro-Colombian.
Bruh, we do not see a bunch of Afro-Venezuelans and Afro-Colombians coming across the border, bruh. Like, remember I talked about this before?
Hey, I have to cut Phil off for a second. People from other countries do not align with American Black. They don't give a shit about us. They don't function as our long lost brothers and sisters. They don't care about us. Every demographic is all for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just like I'm more concerned about my family than I am against my next door neighbor's family. I don't hate them. I don't wish them any ill will, but I'm not thinking about it. I'm worried about my family. It's black and brown. That's played out, man. I don't hear that. That's bullshit. It never existed. And what happened in LA with those council members proved that. And people from these countries, Black America got to realize that people from around the world, they don't call themselves black. They call themselves, wherever they're from, that's how they identify themselves. Until they get here and they get a dosage of what we've been getting, or they go to Europe and get their, nigga wake up call and all that. But they don't identify with us. They don't identify with our struggle, and that's okay. I know black. I speak a Spanish. All right. It's okay, bro. You hold your nuts and we'll hold our own. Continue.
And we'll go back into this maybe a little bit later, but notice all the people that's coming over, where all the black people at? I don't see all the Afro-Venezuelans because it's black people in Venezuela. It's black people all in Latin America. Notice it's not black people. So either you're preventing the black people from coming up here, or it's not that bad like you say, and you want to handpick those who got lighter skin, but they're not the descendants of slaves, right? So you want them to stay back in their home countries and suffer, but the other ones with straighter hair and a little bit lighter skin, they can go ahead and come on up here. Now, that's a conversation that we need to have.
As we're talking about, eliminating tipped wages for black and brown people, we're fighting the same system that doesn't humanize black people across the globe. And isn't it quite disturbing that you have an entire party that is more interested and dedicated to destabilizing black and brown people around the globe than actually passing a freaking...
How about you answer the question? Because I don't see the Republican Party champion the cause for open borders. The Democrats are done. And we know why they want them here, so they can lower wages and push your black ass out the way. That's why they're coming here. I mean, that's not their goal, but that's the Democrats' goal. And what's his name? Chuck Schumer pretty much admitted it. That basically whites aren't having enough babies, so we're bringing them in here to replace them and push you darkies out.
Budget to make sure that people can eat and have somewhere to live. That's right. That's the disconnect.
Sir, the party you in is disconnected too. You're giving all the freaking resources to migrants and not giving it to black folks. Your party is disconnected. How you gonna wag your finger and you literally giving taxpayer resources to people who aren't even legal citizens? They're not residents. They're not anything. They just come over to yesterday and they get in a bag. American citizens don't even get a bag like that.
In fact, the last thing that I'll say, at least on this, unless one more person has a question about this, is that I know we're going to get to the other side of this. Right. And I know that the city of Chicago has been incredibly patient with my administration. Everyone knows it's not like I'm calling up relatives from another country saying, y'all want to come live with me? Our people know that. And they're frustrated. They're frustrated because, if I could be so bold, when the people of Chicago voted for me and voted for this progressive council, their hopes and aspirations could be realized.
Yeah, whenever you hear that progressive shit, that means you're black, get back. Brown, stick around. That's all that really is. Because they're not going to do anything for you.
And now we have this crisis that has slowed that down. That's what people are frustrated about. If people weren't complaining.
Well, I'm going to cut it off there because I'm at 11 minutes. I don't want to make the video too long. You don't take resources from Americans and give it to someone else. That's the bottom line. If we had a surplus, fine. Spread the wealth around the world. We don't have that. You tell them when they want stuff, it's not in the budget. But then you got all these people coming here who were not born here. They did not pay taxes. They did not vote. You find money for them. So yeah, I have a problem with that. And it's fake anyway. Again, if you want to have migration, fine. Do it the legal way. None of this birthright citizenship, which clearly was for freedmen and not for someone who came across the border and had a baby. Or they flew from China pregnant, got here and had a baby. It wasn't for that. It clearly doesn't say that. And that needs to be challenged in the Supreme Court. But anyways, guys, I'm not going to watch the whole video. I'm going to link it down below. You can watch the whole thing on your time. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you fellas in the next video. Peace.